Arafa, welcome.
Hi, thanks.
What were you smiling at? Your picture?
It's just massive, isn't it?
Oh, no. I was like, oh no, what's happened? Oh no, you look wonderful, you do. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is lovely to be here today.
Yeah, really nice.
So tell us more about your role at AO.
So I'm Director of Brand at AO. I've been at AO for about 8-9 years. Feels like it's gone in a heartbeat. I essentially take care of advertising, campaigns, social, brand strategy, a really small insight team, and a bunch of project managers to make it all happen really smoothly.
It's a huge job.
Yeah, it's big.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a lot of weight on your shoulders, but you obviously enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you enjoy most about that job, and what do you like? I guess seeing your projects come to fruition must be just, elate you.
Yeah, definitely. So it definitely not all on me. I have an absolutely fabulous team, a load of people that work for us that are just brilliant, really, really super talented. I think for me, what I really enjoy is I have massive FOMO, so if something's going on over there, I kind of want to see it and to be involved in it. So the job really works for me. There's lots of variety, lots of change, but I think a really lovely mix between creativity, even though I can't draw a dot, but that versus business and obviously the commercial reality of the business, and those two things combined, that's just magic for me.
Yeah. What were you doing before?
Always done it, so so I've been doing it for 25 years now. I've not done anything else but marketing and brand. I wouldn't know how to do anything else. I just love it. I love the difference, how from one day to the next, honestly, 1 hour to the next, your job changes and things change.
Yeah. And how have you seen the sort of landscape change in that time? Is it greatly changed, would you say?
Massively. I think, back in the day when I first started, we were all about posters in stores and brochures. Yes. We're now very much, the media landscape is bonkers now. The amount of channels that are available to consumers, to advertisers, to get to consumers is bonkers. But I think for me, it's all about the relevancy that you have from customers, and that's the magic for me, is how do you make sure you're hitting the right message to the right customer at the right time, rather than blindly throwing tons of things at tons of different people. So the media landscape is amazing at the minute, but challenging and can be difficult.
Yeah, and as a brand based nearby in Bolton, what do you think makes the North and the Northwest such a sort of special place to be at the moment? What is it about this area?
Yeah, so AO is 25 years this year, so we celebrate our birthday, so happy birthday us.
Yeah, so you've got lots of plans. Even bigger year for you.
Massive year, lots of lovely plans going on this year. And so it's always been based in the north, in and around Bolton. Really proud of that heritage, continue to be so. We have a hub in Manchester, so a creative hub in Manchester. We also do have a creative hub in London. I think the most exciting thing for me in the North is you don't have to be in London. I think when I first started my career, there was definitely a little bit of you should go down to London, go and do a few years, set your career up, go and work for a big brand, go work for a big agency, and that just wasn't for me. And I just don't think nowadays you have that challenge. I just don't think people coming into the industry have that same challenge. I think we've seen lots of amazing brands come into the North as well. So Channel 4, BBC, lots and lots of different brands. Lots of great agencies as well have their head offices here, or at least satellite offices here. So I think for me, it's the choice. It's not being forced to be in one certain area. It is you can have a great brand, a great career, anywhere up and down the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And what sort of challenges, Arafa, would you say you've been trying to overcome at the retailer? What sort of are you having to navigate in this current climate?
Tons.
Tell us a few.
I think just to my point earlier on about the media landscape, I think that is a huge challenge, not just from an AO perspective, but actually as advertisers, as marketeers up and down, across the world really. Trying to keep abreast of all of the new channels that are going, making sure that you're using the correct data, making sure that you're doing it actually really responsibly is a huge challenge for us. And I think kind of added on to that, kind of secondary to that, is the creative challenge that comes with that. So again, back in the day, you'd probably have 3 or 4 creatives that you could run across, 10 channels. Times that by 100 now, and making sure that that creative is standing out, that it's remarkable, that consumers understand what you're trying to get across to them. and then across all of those different channels as well. I mean, that's a big challenge, not just from an AO perspective, from a marketing.
It's so competitive, and like you said, you have FOMO, which is the right thing to have, isn't it, in this job?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep competitive like that? How do you keep sort of on your toes so that you know exactly what's going on, what you need to be doing?
Yeah, so I mean, we come to a lot of events like this.
Yeah.
We kind of make sure that we keep abreast with media owners and then agencies as well. We've got a cracking media agency that we work with who are constantly keeping us up to date with new channels, new media owners. They come and have chats with us. You know, I've got a relatively big team, and there's a responsibility to make sure that those guys are up to speed with the channels that we've got going on, that the more junior members of the team understand that and they're learning and growing with that. The landscape those guys have to kind of learn. So yeah, we just make sure that we're out and about all of the time, listening to media owners, listening to our agencies.
Yeah, and just what does radio, what does their role mean to you, and how do you bring them into the mix? Obviously vital for you.
I mean, radio is an absolute cornerstone for our media plan, has been for quite some time. We are constantly utilising the channel. We spend significant amounts of money on that channel because it works so well for us. It does that.
Why does it work so well? Why would you?
I think from a reach and frequency point of view, it does an amazing job for us. So lots and lots of people hearing our message over and over and over again, and it's hard working over, and it's reliable all of the time. I think our sonic obviously works relatively well in audio, and I think that's definitely something that is amazing for us. And I think, you know, as mentioned earlier on, it's a really trusted channel. You know, and I don't think you can underestimate the trust that consumers have in radio, in the shows that they tune into every single day, in the presenters that they listen to. You know, you guys have the trust of the consumers. And as a brand, so we're the UK's most trusted electrical retailer, and it's important for us to ensure that we align ourselves with other trusted mediums. Radio is one. It enables our consumers to understand that, you know, that they can trust us, that they can lean into us. So, you know, radio is absolutely key for that for us.
And how do you measure the success of your radio campaigns?
I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. If you're not a clickable channel, it's a really difficult one. And, you know, if Google had their way, they would be responsible for every single sale in the planet.
Yeah.
And whilst Google is a very, very important channel.
That was my next question.
Yeah. Google absolutely is an important, but their last click, you know, and we definitely, you can maybe overestimate the importance of that. I think we all know that as a consumer, the last click is an important part to go on to the sale, but it would be myopic to suggest that the last click at that second is the only thing that impacted your ability to buy something. We know that it's much more broader than that. We know that it's friends, it's radio ads that you heard last week, it's a TV ad that you heard last month, it's you know, an article that you read in the Times about our chief exec 3 weeks ago. So I think, you know, it's an important channel, but not the only one.
No, absolutely. You mentioned the Sonic brand. We're going to talk about the branding, the Ramones track. I think we can listen to, can't we? Have we got that? There we go. I mean, it's incredible. It's just like a perfect fit. How did this come about?
So it was slightly before my time at AO. It was 2013, as the story goes. So AO was appliances online before, and they basically needed to go through a rebrand, kind of present themselves. They wanted to be a much more national brand, so they knew they needed to do a brand piece. They worked with a northern agency and came up with AO, so that's when the iconic smile was born.
Yes.
And they then settled on Let's Go as a tagline, and then the Ramones track, and the partnership was born, and we've been using it ever since.
It's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, straight away, you know exactly what it's all about. And is it here to stay?
Oh, absolutely.
So you're not going to get rid, or
you will have to prize that from my dying hands.
Really?
To stop. So you know, I do joke, but as someone obviously in charge of our brand, like it's an absolute gift to be able to have that track, to be able to have consumers understand it. It's brilliant. You know, it's absolutely a superb bit of in our armoury.
Yeah, and not meaning this in a crude way, it can't come very cheaply, can it? The Ramones track. I mean, It's an investment, isn't it? I mean, it is an investment. Is that how you see it? And
absolutely.
Convince
myself.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. We've definitely put a lot of those Ramones grandchildren through wonderful education.
Love it.
But so yes, it's absolutely an investment, and we love it. And actually, as an organisation, we know how powerful it is. And if you walk into any, and I've done it, trust me, you walk into any school playground and yell AO, let's go, AO, the children chant back, let's go.
It's incredible.
It's brilliant. If I tell someone I work for AO, they kind of go, and
let's go. Yeah.
Nod their head.
Yeah.
So we know how powerful it is. We definitely do. And with a medium like radio, having such a clear, useful sonic is brilliant for us.
It's excellent. It really is. And of course, I mentioned earlier about AO sponsoring the arena.
Yeah.
And a lot of partnerships in the local area as well. How important is that, Arafa?
It's really important. The AO Arena, we've been with them for 5 years. We had a slight interruption with COVID, and we've signed up for 10 years. It's a long-term sponsorship with those guys, and the partnership is brilliant. The guys there are absolutely really, really good group of people. It's an iconic building in the north as well, so lots of people talk about it. Lots of people are talking about the gigs that they've got going on there, and then obviously mention AO Arena. And actually, as a digital brand, as an e-commerce brand, having a physical presence is actually quite important for us. We're not this faceless corporation. We're a great bunch of people based in Bolton, and that's really important to come to life, and we can use the arena to help us do that. And I think the other partnerships that we've got as well, we're mega, mega proud of those as well. So we sponsor Manchester Thunder, so netball team. We also sponsor Jacksonville Jaguars and their Jag Tag program, which is all to do with helping kids play a version of American football. And I think the one that I'm most proud of is our community program that we have, so a grassroots community program to enable children to play sport. So one of the biggest barriers to kids playing sports and communities having their own teams is kit. And it just shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a grassroots community program, which essentially we give grants to enable kids and teams to get sports kits.
Fantastic.
So whilst it definitely does a great thing for our brand, so we have AO logo on lots of different kits, it's really important to serve the communities that, and to make sure that we're there and to help break down some of those barriers of kids playing sports.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what advice would you give to brands considering advertising on audio and using this medium?
I think for us, and look, we grew to where we are now. This wasn't an overnight, all of a sudden turning on a huge amount of cash on radio. It was about ongoing test and learn and investments. We're still continuing to test and learn. I think we've mentioned through some of those digital channels, we're learning lots in those spaces. But actually for me, I think it's about test and learn. It's about going in slowly. It's about spending what you can afford rather than going in full hog. I think you have to just hold your nerve when it comes to the return, because sometimes that return can be a little bit longer than you expect. So, you pump money into Google and you can see the results quite quickly. With radio, it may just be a slower burn. I think being really brave with your creative. So I think as marketeers, I'm definitely guilty for this. You try and chuck in loads and loads and loads of messages. I think just being really, really clear about what it is you want the customer to do. What is it, that one takeaway that they need to do? And that takes bravery, trust me, because I want to chuck in tons of messages. So just being quite brave about that. And then if you happen to have a catchy jingle, whack that on the end.
Yeah, just like, exactly. That works. It's great, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
And just tell us quickly what you're working on at the moment. Can you give us a little insight?
Insight.
Yeah, it's a typical day for you, Arafa.
So at the minute, we're doing quite a lot, obviously, as I've talked about our 25 years.
Yes,
so
we've got 25,
so we've got some activity working across the business, actually, on our 25 years and how we celebrate that. We plan really far out, so we're already on peak next year, so we're already kind of working towards next year and what that looks for us. We have a big summer happening. I mean, it constantly I dip in and out of lots and lots of different things. So, and radio ads that we've got planned next month. Those are being finalised.
Exciting. exciting stuff. Now, just before you go, we have got a little question. It's anonymous, but we've got a question from them. We've got a couple here. If that's all right, I've got a couple of minutes to do that. Is that all right with you?
Of course it is.
Do you still consider yourself a challenger brand? AO is pretty big, it says here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we absolutely challenge every single day. So we definitely have a mindset of acting like we're a small brand. I think when you get large and you don't have the same financial constraints and resource constraints, you get lazy and you get complacent and you stop fighting for the attention.
Yeah,
I think we definitely have a spirit in AO which is all to do with act like we're small. We act like every day is a fight. Every day you have to fight for every single sale. Every day you have
complacency at all.
You have to persuade customers every single day to want to try and transact with you because they're parting with their hard-earned cash. You never, ever, ever need to take that for granted. And we don't, and we fight for it every single day, and we test and learn all the time. So if there's a new channel that comes out, AO's probably at the front of the queue going, we'll try that, we'll have a go at that. And so that that doesn't disappear. And that runs all the way through the organisation.
Yeah. And just very quickly, I've got another one here. It's great to hear that radio's trusted.
Yeah.
And you like to align with trusted media. Does this mean you don't use social media?
No, we do.
We do, absolutely.
We absolutely do, because you've got to be wary of trusted media for the younger. A younger demographic is really important. And actually, a space like Facebook, for example, middle-aged women love Facebook. They see that as a trusted because they're able to connect with their local community. So I think it's really important to just, trusted channels are very, very important, but they're different trusted channels to different people. Yeah,
because we're going to be talking about social media very, very soon because, there is a concern over social media and it's how you use that. Obviously that is, with a big company like AO, it's at the forefront of your mind as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we take that responsibility really seriously. We have a social media team that creates some brilliant content for us online, but we definitely take that responsibility very, very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think we're, any more questions? Oh, right, here we have got another. They're all coming in here. I love this. Is there a chance that AO will go into different areas beyond appliances? Ooh, that's a big one.
It is a huge one. I suppose.
Do you know anything?
Maybe. I suppose I'd say that nothing's ever off the table for AO. Nothing is. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago that we would have been sponsoring an arena?
Yeah, no, I
know. So I'd say that nothing is off the table, but no immediate plans.
No immediate plans. Okay, well, that's a good question. No more questions at the moment. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and good luck with everything and the 25th anniversary. So when does that kick in, by the way?
So we
were the summer.
No. So we were 25. We were 25 years old at Christmas, actually, because that's when the £1 bet happens. So So
it's going to be throughout,
all the way through the year.
Yeah, brilliant. Arafa, thank you very much.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.